What's up guys, Omega here and welcome back to Gt7 for another lap guide. This one bringing us to Sardegna, Road Track B in the Group 4 cars on the medium tyres. The WRX does seem to be the very dominant car here, so for your qualifying you probably want to use this car. If you find this video useful at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content, and let's get into it. So starting off your lap in time trial, you start around this point. What you want to do is try to get the best run possible onto the straight, and you'll see at the end of this lap why that's so important, because I do mess this up here. You should really stay in 4th gear there, but it is what it is. I don't know what it is about me and messing up the first part of these fastest laps, but here we are. And so crossing the start finish line, you want to sort of stay towards the center of the track. I think this minimizes the amount of track you need to cover, rather than going all the way out to the right hand side. Until you get closer to the corner, then you want to be on the right hand side and getting over the curb here, looking for the 100-meter board, braking all the way down to 2nd gear, back up to 3rd before you hit the apex and back on the power. For this next set of S's, you want to touch your right hand wheels over this curb on the right hand side and swing the car back to the left, touching the curb on the inside, holding it flat out. You need to shift the car's weight properly to make sure you can do this flat out. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you get used to it, you can do this quite consistently. Now approaching this next left-hander, what you're looking for here is the end of the curb on the right-hand side. I found shifting down to 2nd best for these corners, touching the curb on the left-hand side, back up to 3rd and back on the power, utilizing the full width of the track, back over to the left-hand side here for this next very fast right-hander. When practicing this track, I noticed I could lose or gain a lot of time here. You want to carry more speed through this corner than you think initially. So I quite aggressively stabbed the brake here, which forces the momentum of the car to shift and bite into the corner quite nicely. Now back on the throttle 100% when I feel that bite. Again, using the full width of the track. But do be mindful of these curbs. If you do run a little bit too wide, sometimes they will just spin you in a very frustrating way. So I find just touching them normally gives you enough width on the track. Now coming down this next section is flat out, and what I found is actually touching the curb on the left hand side and staying quite tight. As you can see, my Ghost runs a little bit wide there. I actually found it quicker to stay more towards the middle of the track and then hug the left hand side very closely as we go around this corner. Approaching this next braking zone for the next corner, you can use the 100 board on the right, although I did find it a little bit quicker to brake a little bit later at the blue stuff here at the end of the curb, shifting all the way down to 2nd, getting right up on the curb as much as possible without running off the track to be able to really swing the car in, shift back up to 3rd and fully on the power before the apex, using the runoff on the left hand side to maintain your speed, getting back over to the right hand side of the track. And here as a reference for the braking, you're looking at the red and white change in the fence on the right hand side, braking and shifting down to 3rd to swing the car in towards the apex and fully back on the power. Again, you want to carry a lot of speed through this corner as there's a dip in the track which pulls you around the corner. It takes a little bit of practice, but once you get used to it, you'll know what I mean. Again, using all the curbs, all the available runoff. And for this next corner, you should be able to take it flat out, although it does take a little bit of getting used to and you may have to lift. But I found the turning right at the end of this curb, trying to get the left wheels to just touch the curb on the inside, and this should most of the time allow you to run this corner flat out, but not all the time. Now be wary of this curb on the right hand side. I've been bitten a couple of times. If you run too wide there, it will just spit you out and ruin your lap. Now coming up to the final corner, you'll see a change in the fence on the right hand side here. Braking just there, shifting down to 4th, and what you want to do is turn in and try to just kiss the left wheels on this inside curb. Don't take too much of that curb because it will kill you and ruin your lap, which is very frustrating, especially when you know you're ahead of your Ghost or your Delta. And you do want to utilize as much of the right hand side as you can. Just be careful not to run the left hand tires over this white line here, otherwise you will get a penalty and that will also ruin your lap, which is very frustrating. Running to the line, obviously just flat out from here, crossing the line. That one's good for a 123.896. And you can see here the Delta is 3/4 of a tenth up by the end of this straight, which is very frustrating, which is why it's important to get that good run at the start of the lap, as I possibly could have gained a little bit of time there. But nonetheless, still a decent lap, and what I'll do is I'll play this back in full speed now so you can see what the lap looks like. And then I'll play it from the chase cam view just so you can see where the car's positioned on the track, etc. And I'll see you at the end of the video. Hope you did find it useful. If you do, let me know in the comments. I love hearing the positive feedback about these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.